Known for having the poster that outsold Eric July's ISOM poster, Yaira was the biggest selling poster of the ISOM #1 campaign. And you also had 2 infamous cosplays at conventions as well. And on top of it, the quickest campaign of the Rippaverse campaigns to hit $1 million in 24 hours. So safe to say, regardless of what side of the fence you are on with the Rippaverse, many eyes are on the company, and even more so with their first lady, Yaira.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Yaira #1 has arrived, and it is drawn by Deborah Carita. It is inked by Thiago Gomez and 137 Studio, and is also colored by Jay Brown. Don't know who the first Jay is, but it just says Jay Brown. And of course, it is written by the Twisted Twins of Horror, Jen and Sylvia Soska from Black Widow fame of Marvel. And of course, a few other movies like American Mary, which is probably one of the most popular ones today. Easy reference, I know, but relevant and convenient nonetheless. And the story kicks off with a bit of a quick flashback referencing to significant events happening back in ISOM #1 that assures you there is more to what we have seen than meets the eye. Transformers pun completely, absolutely intended. And then flashing forward, we get to know our protagonist on a personal level, and you get to know about her alter ego, what company she works for, and whom she holds dear on a more personal, intimate level. Yaira's Headlight comic debut packs a lot, and when I mean a lot, like, think of it as like you want the biggest fucking pizza with the most amount of toppings, sauce, and a frenzied coating of Parmesan cheese. I'm telling you, this is one stacked deck of pie. And by comic book logic, I mean that this comic is heavy on the story, the action, the dialogue, the exposition, and even the continuity, and a big background story to boot really rounds us up into one complete tale. The dialogue, while heavy, is very accessible and doesn't feel like a homework assignment, like you've been trying to make sense of whatever Grant Morrison has been trying to say for the last 10 to 15 years, and these books have gotten so convoluted. You're like, dude, where are we going anymore? This book is really easy to follow along, but not at the point of making you feel like this is holding your hand or that you're dumbfounded for reading. And the action is big, and it's really balanced gorgeously between colors of light and dark. I'd say like a lime green and like a somewhat not so baby blue, but very light blue. It's really killer to see the contrast of the colors, and I love it. And it showcases how powerful not only our main character is, but how powerful her enemies are as well. The comic introduces characters new, establishing personalities, voices, motivations, while bringing back familiar faces from the previous 3 Rippaverse comic books, making it all feel wholly connected, while simultaneously not punishing you if you haven't read the previous 3 titles. There was even one surprise character I saw from the ISOM books. I'm like, oh hey, Lottie freaking Ga, what do you know? And they got Deborah's art. Deborah Carita's art is absolutely freaking awesome, as her style is clean yet highly detailed, whether it's in the Forest Park, Texas surroundings or in the anatomy of the characters. Magus Numite makes Nightmares never look more beautiful, and while our titular character is a statue of a lady that will have a few men oodling at the sight of her. Believe that, guys. You're going to be doing it. And the continuity in this comic flows effortlessly, as the world in which these characters live in feels more realized than ever before, with a few hints of history between some of the main characters, and even the ones who make so little as an unnamed cameo. The origin story for Yaira in this book is as much of a heartwarmer as it is a tearjerker, and how she becomes who she is as a woman, up to and including how she gets her suit, is laid out extensively and intricately as well. And my favorite part story-wise about all this is the expansion of her background. And for my one single favorite part, it has something to do with acknowledging the fact that they are in the state of Texas. When you read it, you'll know it. Trust me on it. This is one of those trust me bros that actually hold some meaning and weight to the statement. And of course, another nice touch to the book here is how new reader friendly this comic book is. You don't have to be a fan of the Rippaverse or even comic books in general. Not only is it accessible in terms of understanding the story, but it also reads like a complete story. So let's just say you know, either just want to get in, get out, you can read the story and get a full, nice, satisfying beginning, middle, and end type of story here, which is really cool. Meanwhile, though, it sets up threads should you be interested to continue, which I know I'll be one of those guys, and you should be too. But just saying, in case you're one of those people who just wants to dip in and dip out of the swimming pool. So no skinny dippers included. The color palette too, once again, I love that touch of the lime green and the light blue. It really dominates most of the coloring palette in this book. It's really killer, and it really it fits Yaira's character and her aesthetic, and also the look and tonality of her headlining comic. I am absolutely a fan of this, and I can't wait to see more of this. So yeah, shockingly though, I only have like one complaint. Like that's it. Like one freaking complaint. It's not even like a major one like this. Oh no, this is a deal breaker. This is gonna ruin everything for me. Oh, I gotta go. No, it's just there's a few lines where some of it felt it was a little bit on repetitive nature of dialogue. It wasn't like bad lines. It was actually good, really effective lines, but I feel like they were used kind of a little bit too much too soon in the story. Not as like in the context of someone using someone's own words against them, but just lines that was just like you could have kind of said something similar, but without saying the same thing. But once again, nothing that's gonna freaking like, take away my enjoyment of the story. This is still a really freaking fun ass story. And on top of that, if I had to say that took off any points, it probably would have taken like what, 0.2 or 0.3. It's a small thing. Would I call it a bigger thing if it was like on a bad book? Yeah, because when you have a bad book, you have an ocean of problems, and that's just everything that adds insult to injury. Meanwhile, this is just the one thing I have. So because of my logic and it being such a small thing in the grander scheme of things, I'd say 0.2, 0.3. But overall, though, I'm going to rank Yaira at a really strong 8.5 out of 10. And you can bet your sweet ass I will be back for issue number 2 of this character, because I can't wait to see what happens. And I hope it arrives sometime sooner than later, sometime between now and my death, because I want that comic now. I want that sequel now. Alright? And I'll catch you all in the next video, and you lay down your souls to the gods rock and roll.
The cream of the crop!